In 1968, an Indian archaeologist named Jagatpati Joshi noticed strange mounds on a remote island called Kadir Bet. Locals walked past them for ages. But when digging began in 1990, a whole planned city rose from the ground. Dholavira covers about 120 acres, roughly 90 football fields, one of the 5 biggest cities of the Indus Valley. This mysterious civilization flourished alongside ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia, and in 2021, UNESCO declared Dholavira a World Heritage Site. But here is what puzzled scientists. Every great ancient city had a river. Rome had the Tiber. Egypt had the Nile. Dholavira had nothing but 2 small, seasonal streams that flow for just a few weeks each year during the monsoon. So how do you keep thousands of people, plus their animals, farms, and workshops, alive in a desert for 15 centuries? You become the world's first masters of rainwater harvesting, and you turn your entire city into a giant water-catching machine. Archaeologists have found at least 16 massive reservoirs carved into solid rock, wrapped around the city like a protective necklace. Water structures took up around 10% of the whole city. Imagine if 1/10 of your hometown was just water tanks. They built dams across those seasonal streams, catching every single drop of monsoon rain before it could vanish into the salt. Then came the genius part. Connected reservoirs let dirt and silt settle out, so water arrived in the main tanks, clean. That is a working filtration system, thousands of years before modern plumbing. Let that sink in. Pun absolutely intended. One reservoir is about 3 times bigger than the famous Great Bath of Mohenjo-daro, with a grand stone staircase leading down. They may even have dug one of the oldest step wells in human history. These people were obsessed with water, and it worked. The city was built like a giant layered cake, in 3 levels. At the top sat the Gideon as sang 4. Its walls were up to 18 meters thick at the base. That is thicker than a school bus is long. Below sat the middle town for merchants and craftsmen, and then the lower town, where everyone else lived and worked. There was even a huge open ground that archaeologists call the stadium, possibly hosting markets, festivals, and grand ceremonies. Streets crossed at perfect right angles, and bricks followed standard ratios across the entire city. These folks loved a building code. Their traders shipped beads and gemstones all the way to Mesopotamia, modern-day Iraq. This desert island was an international business hub. And then, in 1991, near the northern gate of the castle, archaeologists found something that gave them goosebumps. 10 large symbols made of white gypsum crystals, once set into a giant wooden board hanging above the city's main gateway. Scientists believe it is the world's oldest signboard. So what does it say? Well, here is the kicker. Nobody knows. It is written in the Indus script, a writing system that no scholar, no linguist, and no computer has ever deciphered. Around 1800 BCE, the monsoons weakened, trade collapsed, and the greatest water engineers of their age slowly walked away. A city that beat the desert, undone by climate. What do you think those 10 symbols say?